Hey there guys, this is Mr. Lamb and I am going to do two different videos. I'm going to do the first video for both the front and the back for the 6.1 to 6.4 quiz review. And this video, video number 2, will be the at-home review. So this one, 6.1 to 6.4 quiz review. Number 1 and number 2 both say to determine whether they are parallel, perpendicular, or neither. A couple of things that you want to make sure that you are aware of. Parallel means my two slopes must be the same. Perpendicular if they are opposite, meaning one positive and one negative. Reciprocals. And that means that the fraction has been flipped upside down, or neither if it does not fall into one of these two categories. So if you don't have a category. The thing that you have to be most careful about here, make sure that you are finding for A segment AB. I have to use the points A and B. So it's easy for me. I would not scratch these out, but I'm just going to kind of cover these up for now, just so they're not in our way. I just want you to look at points A and B. So I'm going to find the slope of AB. It's y2 minus y1. So 5 minus 12, those are my two y values, over top of x2 minus x1, so negative 6 minus 8. 5 minus 12 is negative 7. Negative 6 minus 8 is negative 14. Simplify the fraction to find the slope. Negative 7 over negative 14 simplifies to 1 over 2. It is now positive because a negative divided by a negative is positive. Okay, now I'm going to do the same thing. I'll switch colors here for CD. So let me cover up A and B. So CD, segment CD. We're going to do the same thing. Slope is y2 minus y1, so 10 minus 20. Our y values. And on the bottom, x minus x, so negative 2 minus 3. 10 minus 20 is negative 10. Negative 2 minus 3 is negative 5. Reduce negative over negative is positive, so 2 over 1. So I look at my two slopes. They are reciprocals. One is 1 over 2, the other is 2 over 1. Those are reciprocals. However, they are not opposite of one another. They are not opposite. So these are not perpendicular. They are not the exact same number, so they are not parallel. Therefore, number 1 is neither. Okay, question number 2, doing the same thing here. I need points A and B, so I want to cover up C and D for a second. Cover those guys up. And I'm going to deal with just A and B. So A to B, the slope. I'll do y's, then x's. Y's on top, 9 minus 16. On the bottom, negative 4 minus 3. So 9 minus 16 is negative 7. On the bottom, negative 4 minus 3 is negative 7. So that reduces to positive 1. Okay, now I need to find CD. CD, let me get rid of B and get rid of A. Okay, so CD, slope, y's over x's. So 11 minus negative 4, same as y plus 4. And x is 7 minus negative 8. That's the same thing as 7 plus 8. So 11 plus 4 is 15. 7 plus 8 is 15. When I divide them, it divides out to 1. So the slope of AB is 1. The slope of CD is 1. They have the same slope. These two are parallel. They are parallel. Right, number 3. 3 and 4, I have to determine the equation of a line. So both of them are going to be based on y equals mx plus b. I do this for both of them. Okay, this question says determine the equation of the line that is perpendicular to the given line. Well, that means that the slope, the m for my equation, is going to be the opposite reciprocal of what is given. Okay, so what is given? The slope is positive 1 over 5. So the slope I need to use has to be negative 5 over 1. That is an opposite reciprocal. And then what is my y-intercept? I don't know. I don't know that yet. So I'm going to use my y equals mx plus b, this over here. All right, I will plug my, here's a point. Look at my point right there, 2, 6. In for y, plug in the y value. That y value is 6 equals the slope, I know this, I just found it, negative 5, times the x value, which in my point it's 2, plus b. Okay, so 6 equals, that's negative 10 plus b. And then solving for b, add 10 to both sides. So 16 is equal to b. So my equation then is y equals mx plus b. It's right here. Y equals mx plus b. So y equals, the m is negative 5, x plus the b is 16. That is my equation. That line would be perpendicular and would go through the point 2, 6. And then number 4, same idea, except it says that it has to be parallel to this line. If it's parallel, it means the slope is the same. So the slope has to be negative 3 as well. The y-intercept, I'm going to find it. Here's my point, 2, negative 7. So in for y, put in my negative 7. M is negative 3. The x value is 2. So that's negative 7 equals negative 6 plus b. Add 6 to both sides, and negative 1 is the b value. So here we go again. Y equals mx plus b. I now know m and I know b. So y equals negative 3x. The b is negative 1, so I can write minus 1. There is my final answer. Y equals negative 3x minus 1. It would be parallel to y equals negative 3x minus 8, but it would also go through the point 2, negative 7. Okay, turning over to the back. Here are some points that we can graph to find distances. So I'm going to use Pythagorean theorem here. The first part, make sure that you're plotting these points correctly. So 10, negative 7 means go on the x-axis over to 10. So let me kind of show you. I can move these around. So this is the origin. This is point 0, 0. So A is at positive 10, and then the y has to be at negative 7. So I can go along the x, that's left and right, go over to positive 10, and then go down to negative 7. So there is the point 10, negative 7. The next point is at negative 5, positive 1. So I can go on the x-axis to negative 5. So there's negative 5, and then positive 1 on the y goes right there. And I want to find this distance here in red. If I want to find that distance in red, I'm going to make a right triangle. My right triangle, pick one of your points, take it directly. I'll take this point up here in the upper left. I will go directly to the right. And then directly down. And I'm doing this because I want to make a right angle. I need a right angle so I can do a squared plus b squared equals c squared. Okay, now I'm just going to count how long these two segments are. So this top segment from left to right, if I just were to count, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. This is 15 units long. Going down, I have starting here, going down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 units, counting down. And I want to try to find the distance right here. I'll call it D for distance. What's a right triangle? A squared plus B squared equals C squared, where A has to be the legs. So 15 is a leg, 15 squared plus 8 squared equals the hypotenuse squared. 15 squared is 225 plus 64 is D squared. 225 plus 64 is 289 equals D squared. To get D by itself, take the square root of both sides. So D is equal to the square root of 289, which happens to be one of our nice, neat ones. It is 17. If that were to be a decimal, you would not leave the decimal. You would just rewrite it in simplest radical form. We'll see that in question number 6. Speaking of number 6, let's jump down here. Number 6 says find the distance of AB if the endpoints are at 6, -3. So again, do the same thing. So 6, -3, over to 6, down to 3. -2, -5. From -2, go left 2, go down 5. So now make your right triangle. So I have to go up. That's 2. And I'm going to count them as I go this time. And I'm going to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And I want to find that distance right there in blue. So again, A squared plus B squared equals C squared. So 2 squared plus 8 squared equals D squared. 4 plus 64 is D squared. So 68 is D squared. So D is equal to the square root of 68. Now, how do I simplify the square root of 68? 68. I'm going to do my little factor tree here and get my primes. That is 2 times 34. 34 is 2 times 17. So my primes are 2, 2, and 17. So the square root of 68 is 2 times 2 times 17. They have to come out in pairs of 2. So in this case, there's a pair of 2's. So a 2 will get out. And that's it. So the square root of 68 can be rewritten as 2 radical 17. 2 radical 17. And number 7, the last one on here, wants us to find the midpoint of CD. Remember, midpoint just means I want to find my averages. I need to find my average for X. Those of you that are going to end up taking my stats class later on in high school, you'll find out that X with a little bar over top of it means average. So might as well just share that with you. X bar, average of my X's. So C's X value is 4 and D's X value is -5. So I add those together, 4 plus -5, and divide it by how many numbers there are. There are 2 numbers, so divide by 2. All right, 4 plus -5 is -1, divided by 2, that's done. Do the same thing for my Y's. So my Y's, Y with a bar over it, finding the average for Y. All right, so let me look at my Y's. I have 8 and 6. Find the average, add them together, 8 plus 6, and divide by 2, because there are 2 numbers. 8 plus 6 is 14, divided by 2 is 7. So if you want to find the midpoint here, M is the midpoint. The midpoint is the X value is the average for the X's, -1/2, and the average for the Y's was 7. And it should be at the point -1/2, 7. So go left 1/2, go up 7. That does it for the 6.1 to 6.4 quiz review.